It's the final countdown, and the powers that be said, listen, we might as well do a free show for the people today. We had no baseball show. So the powers that be won out. Glock obviously did not want to do a free show. He wants all of his information private and paid for, but that's fine, Glock. Wonderful to see you again today. It's great to see you. Something's going on with Tony. I mean, I know his mic's on, but should we talk to him this early, JSU, or we just let him marinate for a little bit and then bring him in after your thoughts? There he is. There he is.
What happened? What do you mean?
I don't know. You were all quiet over there. Usually you're quiet at the start of the show, but I thought you might be frozen. You were so still, but now you're back.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, neither do I.
I don't know what he was talking about.
I don't either.
Screen freeze or something? I don't know.
No, you were good.
You're just so still. Usually you're not that still.
Holden's making shit up again.
I was worried that something was happening. I had to readjust
fine
to figure out what he was even saying.
You're just fine, pal. Everything's going well. Free show for everybody. I guess we are going to give some cores away before the end of the show. JSU, I don't want to give them away for free, to be honest with you, pal. I just don't. They're too good. They're too valuable. The only thing I could say is if we get to 400 likes, we can give them away. That's just how I'm feeling today, JSU. You're going to give away the best DFS cores in the world for free? What are you thinking?
Well, Holden, maybe then, if they get to 400, we can give away everyone's but Big T's. And then if they get to 500, we give away the best in the business. 500. So
I just want to know
I think that's the way we roll.
I mean, Mike in the YouTube chat, Big T still works at RPS. I haven't taken an off day, Mike, in months. Cores every day, content just because you don't see me on the free show. Stop being a freeloader, get on Run Pure, and you'll get my content every freaking day, Mike.
Mikey needs to subscribe is what he's telling us without saying it.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
Tell me you're not.
I took an oath to start the playoffs that we weren't taking off days. We're going to do a show every day of the playoffs. We're going to do cores every day of the playoffs, playbook every day of the playoffs. And that's what we've done. We've held to it. Now we're almost there. We're almost to the finish line. So we're definitely not stopping now.
Brandon McNair, I don't know why Holden pretends to be a straight on the free show. Well, I don't want to get us banned from YouTube. And that's part of the allure of being a subscriber. Not only do you get the best DFS content in the world, you get some pretty shady material behind the paywall. So you get entertainment and winners. And there's basically nothing like that. Wonderful to see two gentlemen in polos today. You must have known there was a free show.
They didn't tell me, though. I'd have freaking worn one with them.
Would you? I mean, what do you got on? Just a little Denver Nuggets Jokic?
You're the one who's usually wearing a polo, if anyone. It's not me.
We're praying to go 3 of 3. We wanted to go 3 of 3. We were waiting.
I mean, you guys look good, too. Glock always looks good. JSU looks good today.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it.
You got dressed up. JSU, I was watching the NBA bets and DFS show, you spread and Tyler. And yes, you're right. Tyler does look like he's 40, but he's only like 22. But you're on there today. You're breaking down the show, everything. I really think you hurt Tyler's feelings, first of all, by saying you thought he was older. He almost cried. That was.
I thought he was at least my age. He's
like
23.
I would have guessed like 21.
Really?
Oh, really?
Really. And the second thing I learned is that JSU, he's taken his wife to a baby shower this week, which
I heard that.
No, not a baby shower.
He was wrapping presents earlier, Holden. I mean, the dude was wrapping presents.
There we go.
Oh, he's already whipped.
No,
that's not
Tony. You're lying. Tony calls me up and says, "What are you doing right now?" I said, listen, he goes, "What's that noise?" I go, "My mother's here." My mother goes, says something about wrapping presents. I go, yeah, she's wrapping all the gifts for the bridal shower. That's how you do it. I don't know how to wrap a friggin' gift. You don't want me wrapping gifts. And Tony laughed and he made fun of me for my wrapping skills. And then that was that. But that's how you do it. Mama comes over, she wraps the gifts, she makes them look nice. You don't want my sloppy ass wrapping skills. No. Trust me.
No,
I mean, Mike's coming in. Mike says Big T with the dry bench. I mean, Mike, you're really first. I'm not producing content. Now I'm not producing on the bench. I mean, You're wrong twice today.
Yeah. He even likes to do it in the shower. So what are you talking about? It's not dry in the shower, dude. If anybody has been watching this show, Tony likes to get it on in the shower. Now back to JSU real quick. JSU. There's a baby shower coming up or a wedding shower. What are we doing here?
It's a bridal shower, like when they
What?
get not a baby
It's the bridal shower
a
followed
bridal
soon after by by the baby shower, Holden. It's a progression.
Really?
It's just a progression up the ladder.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not into a baby shower either. I got I got out all those.
Nope.
So how's that working for you, pal? Is everything going to be okay there?
All her family's coming down. A lot of them are here from Florida already. If not, they'll be here soon. So I can't wait to see all her family and all my family in the same room together. And it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to no basketball on Saturday.
Shower hurts my knees.
Oh my!
What in the world are you doing?
Get off your knees, Otter. Get off your knees in the
Who
shower.
Are you in the
dude?
shower
Stand
with,
up.
Otters?
Oh my God. We have gone.
Holden,
minutes. What?
Holden knows what he's talking about. Don't lie, Holden.
I guarantee Holden knows all about his.
I've never been on my knees in the shower.
I don't know about that. I might be willing to bet that you've been on your knees at some point in the shower.
I bet the over like 15 and a half too.
Guys, I'm trying to keep it clean. It's a free show today. You're starting to bait me into moving into territory that's dangerous. Glock has not talked yet on this show. Hello, Glock. How are you feeling about your Dallas Mavericks tonight? Are you gonna tell Tony he's wrong again and then get it shoved up your bunghole?
I'm waiting to see his take first, and then we'll see. But I got to be nice and polite with it for sure, just like last time. But yeah, I'm scared, to be honest, no doubt. Like, we'll talk about it later, but obviously, these two series in specific, like, the home team has cooked, and will that remain true today? We'll find out. But it's just weird how much home court has played in these two series specifically, and how well these home teams have played when they're at home. So yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking down with you guys. And definitely never been on my knees in the shower, that's for sure.
See, I thought we were done with that conversation, and then you just took it right back off the rails. I mean, Glock, please, sir, have you been to a bridal shower or a baby shower, Glock?
Oh, I mean, the bridal shower is for the girls, right? I mean, my wife had one before we got married, but I mean,
you don't like go to it. You like some guys will like
show up at the end or something.
Go at the end and get the gifts and put them in the, like, I got to go at the end, Holden, and get all the gifts and put them in my car and bring them back to my house. And then I got to go to her house because they're doing a cookout or something. Like, you don't go there though. It's not like for us.
Tony, you're a close confidant of JSU. What is the bachelor party? When's that going down? What's that looking like? Are we gonna try and
been included in anything?
That's because there's nothing. That's because there's nothing.
What?
There's no bachelor party.
I'm gonna talk to Andrew Holden. And
no bachelor party.
I'm gonna get this figured out here in the next couple of days because I'll talk to Andrew. We'll get something figured out.
Man, I mean,
I don't like it when you and him speak, because when you and him speak,
how do you know we haven't already spoke about the plan?
No, see, when you and him speak, I can tell because you start calling me Johnny more. You start using more sentences the way he talks to me. And I really hate the way he talks to me because he's my older brother and he talks pretty much down to me like I'm still a child, and I hate it. No? See, Tony's
I think you need a shower. I think we need to bowl you. They bring little people in and they toss them. We should do that to you, except we're going to have a big bachelor party for you, and it's going to be the best time ever. It'll be great.
Is there not going to be a bachelor?
I don't know if I could handle you at a bachelor party.
Very mellow.
Tony, I don't think I could handle Holden at a bachelor
very
party.
Mellow at a bachelor party.
You don't want Holden there.
I don't think Holden wouldn't show up anyways.
Yeah, Andy wouldn't show up anyways.
Oh, that's a good
Holden
point. He would probably tell us he's coming and then dust us off at the last minute. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's true. We do have a slate to get to, so I guess we can spend a little extra time on it today. Again, you can hit the like button. I don't think you're getting to 400. I have been told we should give some cores out. Did Mikey do a core today? Because we can just give his core out to the free people. We don't care, right? That's fine. Who's doing cores today that we can give out for free, JSU? Do you want to give your FanDuel core out today?
Sure. Well, I'll do whatever the people want.
Okay.
So
FanDuel core for JSU. We'll see what clock is. Guys, you're gonna have to do something to get Tony's core today. You can't just be freeloading around doing nothing. It's just not gonna happen. So it's the value. There's too much value. There is too much value out there. K-Fleet Burner, you are chomping away. Come on,
he's right. Holden never attends RPS events. Tony,
I do block employees on Twitter. Mostly mute. I don't think I blocked them, but I definitely mute a lot of them. You don't want to listen to people you're working with. I got to listen to you guys anyway, so you might as well just mute them. Seriously. Seriously. Right.
The logic on this show is just so sound, Glock. It just
well,
I don't get it. Yeah.
Who cares? As long as we're giving out winners, that's all that matters. So that's what we're going to try and do. And subscribers, trust me, we are going to get to your questions before anybody else. Okay. So don't worry about it. So like button would be great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's a little red button in the bottom right-hand corner. It's got a sideways triangle. When you subscribe to that, you get all of our notifications for the amazing shows that we put on. How many free shows have we done already today? Is this number 2? Because I know you were on one, JSU. We had a golf show. We got everything. Like, before we get into this slate, for those of you that have not signed up, a lot of you know what's going on here, but I cannot imagine anybody else out there doing as much content as we do. Seriously, between the written and the video, JSU, you, Spread, and Tyler already given out DFS and bets plays earlier.
You went on with Allie too. I mean, he's running the gauntlet today.
Yep. I ran the whole gauntlet. Allie gave a winner. I gave a winner. It's free right on the video. It's a minute and a half video. Go check it out.
You better have matched me from the other night when I went on with Allie and gave a 20-point dub.
You know what's funny about that is? You know what's funny about that is, so I come on the video before we go on. The first thing Allie says to me is, "Man, you got a big one to top," because BigT came on and gave the best winner I've had so far. So I was like, perfect. I can't wait.
I gotta get back to
BigT always one ups me, Holden. He always one ups me. He just always beats me.
It's
same
like
here,
me and Mangone.
Same here.
It's like me and Mangone.
Knows how I
try
feel.
to be as good as Mangone. It doesn't work. You just go and you put your head down and you try and be better the next day, JSU. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Mangone, I'll tell you right now, Mangone's a dog. He'll put your ass in the ground. Don't mess with Mangone. He'll take you. He'll take Holden on the slab. I'd take Mangone in a heartbeat against Holden.
Yeah, I mean, I did. Yeah. Holden is definitely too soft for Mangone.
What?
Yeah. Mangone was beating people up.
Now I'm going to rupture my other Achilles, but I guess I'm going to have to start practicing.
If there's one person that's definitely not beating Mangone, it's Holden.
Really?
Holden is way too soft.
What about DC?
DC, I think, might be able to beat him. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
that'd be an interesting match for next year, those two, actually.
Okay.
What, DC and who?
And Mangone.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, DC's in good shape.
He's in good shape still? I mean,
he runs like 16 miles a day.
That's not even exercise though. That's not a sport or exercise. Just running. Who runs? Like, why would you mean
it's not exercise though?
I don't know what exercise is then. I don't know. Running's not exercise.
You can say a lot of things about it, but I don't know about not exercise.
Tony, you going for 16-mile runs daily? I don't know.
Like, I can guarantee you that if I do go for a run, I'm going to call it exercise.
I don't know. I was running on the tread like every single day just to be in shape. And then when I got to BigT's and I got on that slab for like 10 minutes, I was gassed.
Basketball shape is different. SDC too. Yeah. Basketball shape's different than running shape. Yeah. Maybe Holden's right. Maybe it is an exercise.
You got me on here. Ask me. I'll friggin' tell you. I literally do all different types of workouts. And I'll tell you right now, it's not the same as getting on the court and running up and down for long periods of time. It is just different.
There's
it's hard
nothing
to train
like that.
You just got to play. That's what it is. You just got to play.
Yeah. It's just like, just go on the treadmill and run for 30 minutes. Like, screw that. Go play basketball for 15. And you're going to get a better workout.
And all right, let's talk about one-on-one's even more of a workout than 5-on-5, as crazy as it sounds, because you got nowhere to hide.
Where's that friggin' helmet? Tony puts me up against his friggin' 19-year-old cousin who's 6'3", and he's got the longest arms and legs. Kid was thanks, Tony, for giving me the toughest matchup. I mean, Glock, it was respect. He gave me a tough matchup. It was a good matchup. We
bet on you too.
You did. I let you down. I let Amber down. I didn't feel as bad about letting you down. I let Amber down. I felt bad about that. Yeah.
B Nair just invited you to Tampa. He's going to throw you a bachelor party. So that'll be good. Now, I think you want a bachelor party, but you're so whipped. You're like, I don't want a bachelor party. Is that correct? Do you think that's the case, Tony?
Yeah.
Wait, JSU, is there going to be a bachelorette party or no?
Actually, it already happened.
Oh, he had a bachelorette party. So you didn't have a bachelor party?
Oh, it's the best ever, Holden. They went away for a whole 48 hours.
Yeah, but then you get to go out for 48
hours of my life. I mean, literally, it was just I had the whole house to myself. It was great.
Okay. I play real sports, not trying to be the best at exercising. You're right, Mocherino. Yeah, that is Kenny Powers.
It's a great line too. One of the best.
All right, I'm trying to be. Yeah, that's right.
I don't abide by that line, but I do like the line. I respect the line.
It's a great line. Okay, buddy, let's go JSU. As we normally do, we'll start with broad thoughts, and then we'll start to narrow it down. So all of you go here. Start with the early game, and I want to get your thoughts. First of all, what are we doing with the two studs from Miami and Philly? Can we trust Embiid, and how do you fade Jimmy the way he's been playing?
Well, yeah, first off, I had my take on the earlier show on the bet side. Just I do think Philly takes this game. So I am going to be on the side that the game stays close. Obviously, Philly's played much better at home. Both teams have played really good at home in this series, in both series, really, actually. But these two, in my mind specifically, because the way I see it is Miami and Philly, they're closer, like in talent as teams, where in the other series, I think there's a big difference. Even though Luka's amazing, I think there's a big difference between Phoenix and Dallas. I just really do. I think it's very impressive that Dallas has won 2 games in the series. That's actually very respectable. But I just see the first series with Miami and Philly as being 2 closer matched teams. Is Miami a little better in my opinion? Yes, because I think they just have more depth, but not that much. Joel Embiid's playing with multiple injuries. They're playing with the ghost of James Harden. Maxey's young. Tobias, he's hit or miss, but they really don't have anyone else. They're playing friggin' Georges Niang 20 minutes. Like, dude should get no minutes. He's so bad. He's absolutely horrendous, and he can't hit a shot on top of it. He was awful in
that last game too. God, he was bad.
And they kept giving him run. I don't even understand it. I just don't get it. So
he was like trash talking everyone too. I'm like, what is this dude doing?
Could you imagine what he's trash talking and what they're thinking? Like, dude, last person that should be trash talking. But I think that for DFS purposes, at home, I'm going to trust guys like Danny Green, who can shoot. He's cheap. I'm going to trust him a little more. I'm going to even trust younger guys like Maxey, whose prices come down. Tobias, who's been actually really solid in the playoffs, and his prices come down. I'm going to trust those type of guys as opposed to the Embiids and Hardens, because I haven't been on them pretty much all series for the most part. I think I'm going to stay that way because I've got Booker and Luka just way ahead of those guys in the next game. So my plan of attack for this game is I'm probably going to fade those two, Embiid and Harden, and I'm going to project Jimmy for my MME for a decent projection, but I still don't think I got a ton of him. So I'm probably going to end up with less Jimmy and play more of the secondary pieces from Miami is the other thing. I think certain guys were played really well because of the blowout, though. You didn't see like Victor Oladipo could have easily had another 35-point game. Played 18 minutes. He was really good.
His rotation was weird too, though. They just sat him the whole first and third quarters, and I don't know. It was weird.
So I think it was because they were playing so well, Tony. Spo, he rides the hot hand. Yeah. So they ride hot lineups. They did it with Jimmy in that. Remember that first game where Jimmy sat in the fourth quarter because the Oladipo hero Gabe Vincent or whoever else, Bam lineup, they were playing so well, they didn't even bring Jimmy back in and they won the game. Suppose one of those coaches, he rides it. It's like Gabe Vincent in the third quarter. Gabe Vincent played well in the third quarter and they had that game handled. So he let Gabe Vincent play for majority of that third quarter. Whereas I think if the game's closer, if it's more of a battle, Gabe Vincent comes out earlier. They get guys like Oladipo and Hero off the bench, but they didn't need those guys in that game as much. Even Tyler Hero, they didn't need his scoring as much because Max Strus was banging threes because, Jimmy was on. Bam played, decent. All their guys just played good enough where they didn't need big games out of Hero, Oladipo. I think in Philly, they're going to need either Oladipo or Hero to have a bigger game for them to hang in here. So I'm going to play those type of guys. Hopefully they come in lower owned because they didn't really do that great fantasy wise last game. And that's my plan of attack for the first game. I'm going to be lower on the stars, like the studs at the top. And I'm going to be higher on those mid-tier and cheaper guys.
JSU, real quick. Maxey had Butler all over him for 37 plays in the half court. He had no points and no assists. Any concern with Maxey there? Because I know you like him. You think they'll roll Jimmy on him?
They might roll Jimmy on him. That's a good thing. The only thing I'll say is I think at home I trust him a little bit more in this spot where he likes to play through the crowd. He gets pumped up when he's hitting shots. The crowd's behind him. Younger dude. And he's at a price point where we saw a guy like Jalen Brunson. He hit the optimal on the last slate. And he wasn't even that good. He had like 31 or 32. I'm probably going to project Maxey around that. And just if he hits my builds, he hits my builds. But I think that it could happen where they don't have monster games, but even a 31 could end up getting you on the winner. We've seen Ayton have 31 and be on the winner on some of these slates. We've seen guys in that price range. So that's why I'm not going to over project them too much, but I'm going to be in that 30-point range. Cause I think if they get there, they have a shot to be on the winner, depending on how these games, look at how these games have gone. What's to say that Phoenix doesn't come out and just step on Dallas in the next game? You know what I mean? What's to say that Philly doesn't step on Miami at home? These are the two series where I really think that you could build lineups out any which way you want and get a decent outcome. Like yesterday, I thought the Milwaukee Celtics game, I thought that game was going to be close. You know what I mean? I didn't think this. I think in these two games, it's harder to predict because of how bad these teams have played at away from home. So that's where I pause with some of the guys that I trust and some of them I don't. Maxey's a guy I don't trust on the road. I trust more at home. If they put Jimmy on him, they put Jimmy on him. But I still think with how much switching goes on in the NBA, it's not like Jimmy just plays them the entire time. They're switching all over the place.
All right. So that was the first game. Let's just go with the first game then. We'll get Glock's thoughts and then obviously Big T too. So game number one, Glock, I know you're not as excited about it because it's not your Mavs, but we're trying to win money and I know you're good at that. So let's get the breakdown.
Yeah. So, I think JSU hit it on the head. His point about how Brunson was optimal, with 31 or 32 points last time. One thing I noticed when I ran, 150 lineups, I like to do it before I hop on any show just to see how the builds are shaking out. Maxey is my highest owned player. And that's with a moderate projection of 31, 32, right? And so that just further solidifies JSU point where, even though he's not the best point guard option per se, pricing is everything on these 2 game slates. So those points, we'll talk about it later, but a 5.5K Dorian Finney-Smith, if he gets you 25 to 30, that may just be enough to, ship you the slate just because it's a 2-gamer and pricing is key. And so that's kind of what I wanted to touch on this game, because like JSU said, I also lean that Philly wins. But if you just look at the price tags of everyone, you have 4 guys that really just take away from each other, right? Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tobias Harris, and then, who we said, Tyrese Maxey. Any of those 4 guys can go off. but it's just like a price thing, right? You have James Harden at 8.7, Joel Embiid at 9.7. Tyrese and Tobias are like fine, but they're in the upper 6Ks. And then you have this later game where, you just have a ton of mid-range pieces that are in the 5Ks, which will play just as much and can arguably, put up the same performance. So from the Philly side, I think Tyrese Maxey is definitely my favorite, but, I wouldn't force him in. And then, the Miami side, obviously they're without Kyle Lowry, right? So you're going to see Point Jimmy again at 9.8K on DraftKings. He's a totally fine spend up option. And then, you just look at the prices, like Miami compared to Philly. Miami's prices are just way cheaper, and they have guys that are going to play a ton as well. Max Strus at 5.1K, Tyler Hero 6K. He's cheaper than Maxey. You could take the discount there, and arguably he has higher upside. Obviously, Gabe Vincent will start at 4.4, and I saw K Falak talking about it in the chat, but I agreed with these guys on the show when they were on it last time this slate happened. Like, Gabe is more of like a, he'll dribble up the ball and pass it to Jimmy, right? And then, he'll shoot the open threes, come across some picks and shoot the mid range. But I feel like he got most of his production, in garbage run of last game. Like, I feel like he ran really pure in garbage time because, when I watched it, he was doing everything for those guys at the end of last game. So I think he would be my least favorite. And then PJ Tucker, 4.7, like that's just a cheap mid-range guy that you can plug into your lineup. I don't have any issues with him. And then one guy I forgot to mention, Danny Green. We always like to emphasize on role players at home. Obviously, Danny Green's going to be at home. This is a winner go home game. He could probably, some projection sites are just projecting for the high upper 20s in minutes, but I could see him getting like lower 30s to mid 30s even, in a winner go home game. So I like Danny Green. Role players at home, we always like to target. He should shoot better, obviously, at home, just like Max Strus did last game as an example. So, Danny Green, Tyrese Maxey would be my main focal points on Philly. And then Miami, obviously, Jimmy Butler would be my favorite play. And then you can always fill in with Tyler Hero, Max Strus, Victor Oladipo, because those guys will be, the ones making the plays in the absence of Kyle Lowry. So that's how I would target this first game. I'm like JSU, where I don't want to overly expose to this first game because I just feel like, the prices in that second game are just so much better on a 2-game slate. And, I kind of feel like a broken record because we just go on these shows every other day and it's like the same slate, but
we do. DraftKings
doesn't really do anything with the pricing to, to help us switch it up. Right. Like they could change things up somehow, but we just use with what we're given. And that's kind of how I'm feeling this first game.
All right, Tony, let's get to game number one. Just anybody that you're looking in this game saying, you know what, he's gonna be popular, and it's a full ass fade for me.
Yeah, I think that Philly is like Golden State in a way, fantasy wise, where you got so many pieces that are overpriced that kind of take away from each other. Where I just look at these guys and it's exactly like Golden State in my mind, where none of them stick out to me at all. Embiid and Harden haven't been good. Harden had the one game where he was chalky and crushed, but even that game, he was incredible. And he's still he got there for sure. I don't want people to think that I'm saying he didn't, but he played so good. I don't know if he's got that game in him again. I picked Philly to win this series. I don't know, though. I kind of feel like Miami might just shut them down tonight and close the door. I might be flip-flopping on that one a little bit. I just look at these guys like Tobias Harris and Maxey. I kind of feel like they're just figured out. I hope people play them. I hope people play Maxey because I think Maxey is a bad play tonight. In the first 2 games, I was on him super heavy, and I felt like I got really, really lucky to get there. And then the last 2 games, he got worse and worse each game. 5 for 10, 2 for 10. I know that he still got 32 minutes last game, even in a blowout. So he probably lost 8, 9, 10 minutes maybe. But you go back to that first game, I played him that first game, or second game, I guess is the one I'm talking about, where he got 43 because he only got 21 the first game. 43 the second game. I played him. I just felt like I got so freaking lucky when I played him, and he had so much production in the second half. I just don't see it. I think Miami's this game's going to play ugly. I don't like any of these Philly guys outside of Danny Green and the cheaper guy. We made fun of Niang, but he's still 3,300. he looks so bad, but he's back at home and he's 3,300. So I think you have to put him in your clunker pool, like your ugly play pool, 3,300 to fit some studs. I like Danny Green though with Glock. I mean, 4,200 role player at home, a veteran who should almost like the PJ Tucker game from last game where he just made a bunch of plays. Again, Danny Green's not going to probably go off, but if he gets you 20 or something, 23, that's good for his price in the playoffs. And I don't know. So I'm not going to remove Harden and Tobias and Maxey from my player pool, but I'm definitely going to underproject them. And I probably won't get much of them because like I just can't give Glock was talking about Maxey's projection. I think it's too high. 33 or across the industry. I would bet under 33 for sure on Maxey. I don't see it with him. And I'm a Maxey guy. I like Maxey. I just think I think the Heat and Spo have figured this team out just a little bit. And Embiid looks so banged up. I'm not playing Embiid on any full fade of Embiid. 9,700. I just can't. I can't play Embiid. If he beats me in the mask, whining about the MVP, so be it. Go beat me, big boy, because I just don't see it. I'll play a little bit of the other guys, though. So I don't love that side. And then you look at the Miami side, Jimmy, much better play than Embiid, same price point. I know, different position. But then you get to some of these other guys I don't really like too. So I'm pretty much on the same page as these guys. I just think I like the Philly mid-tier a little bit less than them. But Bam has not looked – this is not a good Bam series with Embiid in there. He's fine, and I don't love Ayton. And when we get to that, we've had this conversation, just like Glock said, every game, the same price, Ayton and Bam. I don't really like either one of them. They kind of just fit in that mid-range where – I don't know. I'm just not going to play Bam tonight. I'm tired of deciding between these guys when I don't like them. I'm just not going to play them and just figure it out because I just don't like Bam in this series. It's just not a good series for him. Hero at 6K. I'm not playing him on the road. Strus looked great last game, but 5,100. I'm not playing him on the road. PJ Tucker, 4,700 feels overly expensive. I'm not going to probably get much of him. I'm not taking him out of my player pool, but I'm not going to get much at 4,700 when I project him for low 20s somewhere. I'd give him a projection. So definitely not playing lucky ass Gabe Vincent. Those guys like K Fallick got so freaking lucky that he gets all the blowout run in that game. And he still didn't crush. He got like 26 or whatever he got. And he got so freaking lucky. Come on, that's brutal. But
that's a perfect example of running bad when you fade a dude and like you have the fade perfectly called and like he wasn't going to play when it mattered and then it didn't matter.
How brutal was it when we knew he was chalked though and every good dude on the court came out except him?
Yeah, he
was hit with all the scrubs and you knew he was staying in the rest of the game because there was no one else that was coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah, they brought that Hightower dude in, and they didn't come, or Highsmith or whatever, and they didn't come in for Vincent.
Oh, it was brutal.
I'm like, shit.
Yeah, why couldn't you just leave like Hero or one of those dudes in there? It was. You
want to know why? Because Vincent doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you're playing a guy that literally doesn't matter. That's what Spo thinks of him. Like he literally thinks that Oladipo, Hero. That's how you know you were just on the wrong side of it. Sometimes, like. If you played Oladipo and Hero over him, I really think you were on the right side. The game just went the wrong way. Like it went the way the Gabe Vincent players needed it to go, which was blowout.
Yeah. And just to polish up Miami, I like Oladipo again. My issue with Oladipo, though, is his price does feel heavy. 5,600. I think he can get there for us. And I think he's a very good. I don't use tournament play as an example very often with NBA because I don't like the question like tournament, cash, safe, but I think Oladipo does fall into that bucket where if you're making like a safe team, single entry, like people say, I think Oladipo is probably a bad play, but I also think he could win you a large field tournament by winning this series for him and being like the second best guy with Jimmy, where he goes for like 40 or something tonight at a low ownership. Like no one's going to play him at 5,600. He's going to be low owned. I think he could pop off and have a good game because, like JSU said, I think we got hidden just a little bit by his rotations last game. he fits on the road better too, because he doesn't depend on his shot like these other guys do. So I'm on him. So I like Jimmy. I like Oladipo as a tournament guy. Dedmon, again, falls in that bucket of cheap guys that we talk about every game. We don't like, but Luka's on the slate. The Sun studs are on the slate. Jimmy and Embiid and Harden and all these guys, you got to find some value somewhere. And when the mid-range bust too, like these guys were talking about, where some of the guys might, like the one game, Bridges got like 26 and he was in the winner. If you get like 12 from these 3K guys, they have a decent chance to be in the winner with the studs. So I'm going to put Dedmon in the player pool. I'm not going to play Duncan Robinson or Caleb Martin though. So really pretty condensed player pool for me in this first game. Jimmy, Tuck, a little bit of Depot, a little bit of Dedmon. And then the Philly side, I don't want much outside of cheaper guys there too.
Okay, good. Let's get the like button. We get the 300. I'll get you JSU's FanDuel core, 400 Big T's, DK core. Let's do that. Also, if you did not know, we got a little thing called Members Never Win, because they actually do win. So it was a while ago. Someone said, hey, your members never win. Well, here's some proof as to the people that have won recently. Dante, 13K in Major League Baseball. SEMO 620 won 40K in the NBA. The man, 40K in MLB. And then, of course, Tony combining for 90K in baseball and NBA, but he's not a subscriber. We expect that out of him. And again, he doesn't get a congrats because he's
Tony, your wins don't mean shit.
Nope, you got 100. I mean, the guy's the best tournament player in the world. What am I going to do? Sit here and tell him?
True.
Come on,
90K. That round pure.
What a joke. What a joke.
Just to polish up one more thing, though, just because I want to take care of the chat, and I forgot to talk about it, but Brandon says, any love for Shake Milton? Yeah, I would put – JSU brought up a great point last show where he was trending just a little bit. They need some offense, and he's in that cheap bucket. So I would definitely have some Shake in your 150. Do I love him as a core play? I don't love any of these 3K guys that much. So it just depends on where you'd rank them. And since I'm lower on some of the mid-range, Tobias and Maxey and these guys, I probably should have a little bit extra Shake just in case he gets it going on offense. I don't love him again. He could get you 5. He could not play, but he could also get you 20 or 25. And I like him more than like Paul Reed.
Foul trouble, with someone else. Like they were playing him. People said he got garbage run. He did get garbage run, but they were also playing him in the second quarter when it wasn't garbage run. You know what I mean?
They just need his scoring. Run. They need scoring.
Yeah, these 2 game slates where the minutes are going to be so condensed. Obviously, these starters and the main role players are they're gonna hit their minute ceiling, right? The coaches are gonna ride them for as long as possible. So if you find this cheap 3K guy near min price that comes in, like a Shake Milton, like a Davis Bertans, maybe just comes in, they drain a few threes, get a stock or two, that could be enough, just at that price point based on what everyone else does around him on the slate. So finding that, gem in the rough, it can be a key thing. And I wrote in the playbook, I would definitely have Shake Milton, as a sprinkle in my 150 for sure.
All right, JSU, you got to get, you're almost up there with your DK core. So let me get a quick rundown of game number 2 here. I know Luka's obviously going to be somebody that you're targeting tonight, and you probably should anyways. Give me a couple plays here, maybe a fade or two from the Mavericks and the Suns.
Yeah, it was interesting that last slate too. Again, Luka has pretty much a floor performance on the winner because the other game busted. So Luka is really tough for me because I just think, even though I like the Suns here and I think they win, I just think he's really tough not to play because I think there's multiple ways where, even if he doesn't have the 65 point, 70 point fantasy game that we all want when we play him, he can still get on the winner. You know what I mean? He can get 60 or 58 and still be on the winner if Embiid flops, Harden, which I'm fading both those guys. I'm going to be under on Jimmy. So if some of these studs in the first game flop, it's almost like a free roll because Luka doesn't need to do much, even in another blowout. Let's say Phoenix does blow them out, which I don't know if that happens in Dallas, but even if it did, Luka probably still gets on the winner in the blowout. That's what happened last time. It probably would happen again if that first game blows out. So, a lot of ifs, but it's just tough for me not to play Luka. I like, on the other side, I get why Tony is upset with Ayton. And my issue is the center just sucks. And we're in another position where 32 could just land on the winner with Ayton or Bam. And I don't like Bam. I've said it the whole series. The way he battles with Embiid, it just takes a lot out of a dude when you're just battling with a guy like Embiid. And I think Ayton, even in just a decent performance, can get there. So I like Ayton a little bit more. I don't love him, but I just think center's so weak that he's my preferred center just because I'm not playing Embiid, no Bam. I don't like Kleber at 5'2". He's another guy like at 5'2". I just can't play a guy like him when he's that close to Finney Smith, Reggie Bullock, who I think are better plays for Dallas. So I'm going to play those guys over Kleber. And yeah, I think, you could look at some of the cheap guys. Like I think they found something in Bismack. Spread on the bet show brought up a good point. Like he kind of fits better for what they need too. He can like switch out and not be like dead on an island with those guys on the perimeter. Like if he did switch out, and he can still give you similar production that JaVale gives on the other end. Like he can finish around the rim. He can rebound. He can block shot. Like he can do all that stuff. So I think Bismack's interesting for tournaments at 3,200. If he gets that same run. And then, like the rest of the guys, like Jay Crowder, up and down. He had a really good start to the series. It started to slow down a little bit, but the shooting numbers, right? Like we said he caught fire in the beginning. He was shooting bad to start the playoffs, caught on this series. And then recently, like the last game, pretty much, he had a rough shooting night. You know what I mean? He got foul trouble. But I think that, 5,400, fair price tag for what he's doing. And I think him and Finney Smith are like the two mid-tier guys from this game that I would prefer. So I would have Finney Smith projected just a little bit more than Crowder, but, I still have them very close. So I like both those guys a lot.
All right. Here's your team here. Glock, let's run it down for us, buddy. What do we got for the Mavericks first? And then you can flip to the Suns.
Yeah, so I like the point JSU kind of brought up at the beginning of the show where he thinks like Miami, Philly is, closer in talent and skill level, whereas Phoenix and Dallas are wider apart, right? I mean, Phoenix was like the best team in the regular season by far, top 5 in both offensive and defensive ratings. And, those are the key recipes to a championship team. And, they were the odds-on betting favorites to win the championship. And, I feel like the deeper you get into these series, these coaches, they just run out of adjustments, right? And obviously last game, one of the big X's and O's adjustments that we saw from Phoenix was that they made 2 defensive changes where, instead of going with JaVale McGee, they went with Bismack Biyombo as the backup center. And like JSU said, he's just more nimble around the perimeter and he can switch better. And that's what Dallas does, a lot of pick and rolls, right? So you definitely need that with your big man. And then also the second change that they did was they replaced Cam Payne's minutes with Landry Shamet's. And, obviously, on paper, it's not really a good change, but Shamet, in that game, he was definitely playing better defense. And in turn, like when Cam Payne was in the rotation, he was getting hunted. Like Luka would just post him up every single possession. And so that kind of prevented it last game from happening. So now it's kind of Phoenix. I don't expect them to do any adjustments. I think they're going to stay with what, won them last game, with the Biyombo and the Shamet change. And then now it's on to Dallas to make the adjustments. And I don't really know what they can do, right? Just because they're just so mismatched, from a talent perspective, apart from Luka, right? So it's like their path to victory is Luka getting 10 plus assists and Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock chucking threes. Like if I see the box score tonight and I see Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith shooting 8+ threes apiece and Luka having 10 plus assists, then I would assume the Mavs are in this game and it's competitive. But otherwise, like you saw last game, Luka only had 2 assists and, the team as a whole had 9. And that's like, that's about as bad as an offense you can see in a game. So yeah, I think like from a fantasy perspective, it's this game is the one to target just purely based on price. Like instead of those high 6K players like Maxey and Tobias, you have guys that are going to play 40 minutes plus in a closeout game in, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jay Crowder, those guys, Reggie Bullock, Maxey Kleber, like those guys are going to play as many minutes as they can handle. And, as long as they're on the floor, they're going to have the opportunity to rack up peripherals. So
real quick, no Brunson.
No, I like Brunson. Like, I think if you're not considering Tyrese Maxey, then I definitely think you should consider Brunson because, he's in that same price bracket. He's shown that he's played better at home. His usage rate has been, the same after the first 2 games where he kind of struggled. So I like Brunson personally, especially in lineups where you're fading Luka. But yeah, I think those 2 guys would actually be my favorite from the Dallas side. And then, if I had to pick one out of Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, and Kleber, it would definitely be Dorian Finney-Smith. It seems like he has the stroke when he's at home. And then, on the Phoenix side, I definitely think you want one of Chris Paul or Devin Booker. CP3 has just struggled as of late, which is super surprising. But, closeout point guard is a real thing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him, if Phoenix shuts the door in Dallas, I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Paul is the one doing it. And then, like last time when they were in Dallas, he had that whole incident with his mom. So he might come out a little motivated this time. But yeah, I think Chris Paul, Devin Booker would be my priorities on the Phoenix side. I think I prefer Jay Crowder over Mikal Bridges if I had to choose. I just think, he's been playing more solid. Bridges is getting, more focus on the defensive end, trying to guard Luka and Brunson. So his production has kind of taken a hit while Jay is getting more of the open threes and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty simple. I think I'm going to have most of my exposure to this game just purely based on price. But yeah, Luka, Jalen, Dorian Finney-Smith on the Dallas side, and then Devin Booker, Chris Paul on the Phoenix side, with Jay Crowder being like, a last fill-in value piece that you can put in there.
All right, this show is flying here. So Tony, just real quick, because I want to get to questions. I know you're putting your core up. From this game, do we start with Chris Paul and go elsewhere? What's the plan of attack real quick in game number 2?
Yeah, Chris Paul, man. I got nightmares about this dude. He's killed us in this series, and I don't know what to do with him. I got a rule on all my teams. I'm going to play either CP or Book on all of them, and I'm going to have a little bit more CP for sure because he has to have a good game. He's just been so bad, but it could just be a mistake. I'll be honest. Like, it could just be smarter just to play Book and fade CP with how it's looked. But I'm going to go back to the well again. And he's only 8K is the good news. It's a closeout game, like Glock just said. I'm going to roll the dice again and play him. But I definitely don't feel as confident as I have this whole series because the Mavs are doing a good job on him. They got good defenders they can throw at him. Booker just looks better in this series. Still, though, my main build that I really like has CP on it. So, after running my 150 and these numbers, I do get more James Harden than I would have thought. So I'm okay with it, though, just with the way he fits, because if I'm playing Luka, I'm playing one of CP or Book. Harden's kind of my number 3 guy, which I'm okay with Harden being my number 3. All I need is him to get in the 40s at that price, and I'm okay with it. So I wanted to recalibrate my initial thought, because I only projected him for 43, and he's still hitting like half my build. So if he only needs 43, I feel pretty good about Harden at home in this type of game. So I wanted to clarify that. These guys brought it up, but Bismack and Shamat are great plays, I think. A lot of people are worried about the rotations and stuff. They played great with these two taking over that role. They didn't play JaVale. They didn't play little man with the bad mullet or whatever you call his haircut, the bad haircut. They didn't even play those two. So I don't know why they would change back. They're going to play Bismack. Center sucks, like JSU said. So I'm going to play Bismack, and I'm going to be very happy to do it because I want to save salary at a bad position. I don't want to waste. I'm so tired of playing freaking Bam and Ayton and wasting salary. And that's another reason I can get up to Harden, because I'm not wasting salary on Ayton and Bam. I don't want to play those two. I don't want to get 32 points from those guys. I'd rather get 14 from Bismack go up to a guy like Harden. And I just feel like that gives me way more upside. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't love Bismack and Shamat, but I do love the price point of Bismack. And I think his role is solidified. He played great. I don't think his role's like solidified for the rest of the year. I think it's solidified for tonight, though, unless it goes terribly and he's just awful. I think he's going to be good enough to get you like 15 fantasy points. All Dallas side, I'm going to play Luka again, same way as last time. I think it's going to be Luka. I think they're going to try to take away these other guys. It didn't happen as much as I thought last game, but they blew them out, and it was never really in jeopardy. I still think they're going to say Luka beat us. I'm not going to play much of these other guys. My stands of the night are for sure going to be fading Dallas besides Luka, outside of a little bit of Bertans I like. I mean, I only got like even 25% Brunson. I don't have any Maxey hardly. My fades of the night are for sure Dallas and Philly, those mid-tier guys. I'm not playing them. Finney Smith, I think, sucks. He's going to be chalky. I don't like him at all tonight. I just think Phoenix guards them a different way than they did those first two games in Dallas. I'm just going to take my chances that it's all Luka.
Okay. I mean, that's a great breakdown right there. We got 8 minutes till lock. Let me give JSU's FanDuel core out. Hit the like button. I'm not giving Big T stuff out unless we get much better on the likes. Here's JSU's FanDuel core. It's the one core I'm giving out as of now. Luka, Brunson, Oladipo, DFS, Crowder, Ayton. If you didn't hear, I'll do it one more time. Luka, Brunson, Oladipo, DFS, Crowder, and Ayton. Premium subscribers, get your questions in now. I'm going to start with that. Glock, I know you're throwing your core in there. Can I throw a couple questions at you real quick, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's go. Stan wants to know in a DK GPP, do I go Booker and Danny Green or Butler and Bertans?
Booker, Danny Green for me.
B-Nair, hey, Glaucoma, what are your thoughts on Dinwiddie? He's cheap on FanDuel.
Yeah, I just think he hasn't been playing well in the playoffs, and like they're just not really going to him unless he comes in his first run and gets really hot. I'm not going to play much of him, even though he's cheap. Like they're going to play Luka a ton, they're going to play Brunson a ton, they're going to play DFS and Bullock a ton, and then that leaves that fifth spot for either Kleber or Dinwiddie. And I think with the size that Phoenix presents, I just don't think they can go with the small ball here. So I would lean with the Dinwiddie fade personally.
You would lean with the Dinwiddie fade. Okay. Swint. Hey, JSU and Big T, don't laugh, but don't you think Chris is better than Powell?
Marquise Chris, I'm assuming.
Marquise Chris.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I mean, he might be better than Powell, but we don't like Powell either.
Yeah. I was going to say, Dwight Powell.
I would take anyone over Dwight Powell in this series. Dwight Powell is not built for this series.
How far he's come since the live final, Tony. How far he's come. He was the hero
it's a
at
bad
the live
spot
final.
For him.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That is spectacular. I love it. What does the highlight yellow mean in the cores? Sorry, new at this. That usually means a change in the cores is what that means. So welcome to the team here. Rolls Royce. Big Max, missed the show. Who are our key fades? Well, there's a lot of them.
I'll just throw them. So my key fades are going to be those studs at the top. Embiid, Harden. I'm fading CP as well. So those are my big fades at the top. And then just trying to think, Gabe Vincent at the bottom is going to be another key fade if he's going to be popular again. And yeah, those are like kind of the big ones for me.
Okay, that's good to know. And your cores are up. So JSU, Hero versus Brunson, DK, Junior. I had that same
Hero
thing.
Versus Brunson.
It's the coin flip.
I think they're really close. I'll lean Brunson, but yeah, I think they're very close.
Okay, we got. I know he's been hurt, but center is bad. Thoughts on Embiid? Again, guys aren't playing Embiid tonight. I mean, what is your exposure to Embiid, JSU?
I got
2%?
Zero from
zero.
Not even 2%. 150. If you had 150 lineups, would you have?
I've had 150 lineup. I told you guys for the playoffs. Tony baited me into doing 150 for this series, pretty much. And I haven't played. I played 0 MB last slate. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Like button would be good. Hey, Glock, do you want to give your DK core out real quick? Just give it out to the people. They didn't hit the quota for the Big T core, and that's fine. The subs.
Yeah. So yeah, my core is Luka, obviously. And then I'm going to run him back with Chris Paul, Jay Crowder. And then, I'm going to pair him with Dorian Finney-Smith. So 4 out of my 5 players in my core coming from that second game. And then, it's like we said we're going to fade the Philly studs, but I also put in my core Danny Green, which I think is my favorite play value-wise from that first game.
M. Chens, hey, JSU, Crowder, Strus, or Bullock? DK. Crowder. Yeah. Big T. Big T. There's more than one name in here, so I don't know if you can handle it. K Fleeks Burner. Come on, man. You know better than that. Harden with Bertans or Maxey and DFS? Would you go Harden and Bertans?
The second one, I don't like either guy, so definitely.
So no Maxey, no DFS. Okay. Glock, DK with CP3. Do I go Ayton Bullock or Booker Bertans?
I'd go the second side.
Booker Bertans. B14 more. Shake or Bertans, Big T? You like Shake, don't you?
They're very, very similar for me. So whoever gets hot. I don't like to answer those where I don't.
Okay.
My favorite cheap guy is Bismack. That's how I'll answer it because he's center.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Tucker or Kleber? FanDuel, JSU. That's from Run Like.
I'm not playing Kleber. That's another fade. So Tucker, I guess.
Bertans or Niang from Dane?
Definitely not Niang.
Nape. Hey, Holden, ask Glaucoma if he's going to play CP3 and Booker together. I know Big T won't, but I'm feeling frisky. Who says they feel frisky, Nape? What is wrong with you? CP3 Booker. What do you guys think about the tandem?
I mean, I think it's fine in single entry, but large field, usually I group those two out.
You're gonna need those guys to bust. And if the first game bust, then you're good. But man, you're gonna need Harden and Embiid and Jimmy and all of those guys to not get there for CP and Book to get there. I think, and Luka is gonna have to. You're just gonna need a lot for both of them to be optimal, right? I mean,
you're gonna need some cheapies to get there. You're gonna need some all those studs to bust. Yeah, like there's a
Phoenix is just like whoever's playing better between those two. Just I don't remember.
They let them go to work. Yeah.
And usually when they both get there, it's not because they both crushed. It's because they both get there with 43. Like Book gets 43, CP gets 42. And that could happen tonight, though. I mean, the first game definitely could play ugly. So,
but if Harden gets 45 and Butler gets 50, you're losing.
You're in big trouble when they post the 50 and 45 because you're not getting 50 plus from Booker and CP. You're just not.
Right.
10 seconds. DFS or Depot from M. Desmarco?
I mean, Depot.
I'm going Depot.
Sure. Depot. Just tuning in. Any bridges?
And Depot's going to be so much lower owned too.
Yeah, Depot is the epitome of tournament play. Like he's at that point where he's definitely going to be lower owned.
All right, guys, we're locked.
Why not both?
We're locked.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I'll just say this. Listen.
Yeah, Glock was nice about it, Tony, but he doesn't like that you faded DFS. He does not like it.
I am
Glock. I'm telling him for you. You don't have to say anything. We don't like it.
He's definitely gonna be chalky for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Glock got whacked so bad that first time. Glock, you're gonna have to bounce back.
I'm like 0-2 against Big T.
It's time to win.
I'll get one eventually.
That's why I did it for you, so you didn't have to do it. I'm trying to help you out here, Glock. Just take it.
I actually feel very good. I'm going to give Glock a chance to get a W on me. I feel very good about the DFS Bullock fades. So Glock, get your W on me. Say you like those two.
If the Mavs win, one of those two are definitely going off. If they
agree with that. Yeah.
If they lose, then they'll suck.
You want to know what's interesting? Spread Astaire, who's probably the nicest guy at RPS, said that you were the nicest guy at RPS, Glock.
Glock might be the nicest.
I love Spread. He's a good guy.
Both of you guys are like just too nice. It's amazing.
Spread
you guys should do a show together. Huh?
We do it every Monday. I'm on
you and Spread are on together?
Doesn't pay attention.
See, we have so much content here. I don't even know what to watch anymore. That's the whole thing. RPS, man. Seriously. We got the best baseball crew out there. Our NBA team is the best. We're just the best. That's it. Just take it and shove it. NBA, baseball, PGA, there's nobody better.
So this is how I think an optimizer is funny and why people should use it though. Just for an example, like on FanDuel, because I'm still tinkering on my even though it's locked, I'm still messing with like the builds just because that's how you learn, like messing with numbers. Like DFS, I have him projected on FanDuel for 19 points, which is way lower than anyone. He still hits 47% of my builds at 19. Yeah. That's another reason why I've been talking to JSU, because I know he's going to crush at doing this. Sometimes you just have to under project instead of delete people. Like DFS, yeah, I don't like him tonight, but I'm also okay if I only need 19 or 20 from him, I like him again. But if I need 35 from him, I don't like him. So
I mean, that's nothing too.
Like that's what I mean. And he's hit 47% at 19. So like, don't be surprised if you see me win with him tonight, even after I said I hate him.
Oh, the Twitter trolls will be coming after you.
It's why though you say you don't like a guy, but then you don't know that the optimizer is going to give you that even when you're expecting when you under project so much that they don't give you
they don't hit
any. And then they do, and that's why people get you on Twitter sometimes. You're like, you didn't like this guy, and then you're like, listen, like it's not just because I say it, I still gotta like do it. And that's the thing. We're doing all this stuff real time. Like we're talking to you guys and we're building our stuff at the same time. So that's why it can change a thought, right, Tony? Like your thought when you see that.
And it just changes your thinking though. And people always ask like, because me and JSU don't really sweat it. We don't have the DK app open and stuff. Like, why do I not have to have it open? I still know exactly how I'm doing without looking, because you know what? I set my projections. Right now, I know that if I play DFS, I only need him to get 20 fantasy points for me. I don't need him to get 30 because that's what my projections are. If they hit my projections, then I know I'm good. And if I fade someone and they go off, I know I'm probably in trouble. It's easy. I don't need the app open to know how I'm doing. Yeah, to know if you eventually there comes the point where you're like, I know I'm close to shipping. Then you might pull it up late in the night and then you'll see what you're sweating. But you always know how you're doing without just based on your numbers. And exactly. I mean, it's just crazy how the number and Harden's the same way. Like, I don't like him tonight. I'm with JSU on that. But man, like if I'm projecting him low 40s and he's hitting my builds, I love James Harden if I only need 40 fantasy points. I don't like James Harden if I need 60. There's a big difference if people understand kind of what I'm saying with that.
All right, boys. It was a good one. We got it done. We ripped it up. It was tremendous. And I'm just looking DFS, very popular here at RPS, at least in the course for a couple guys. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, very good. Anything else you guys need to say before we get out of here, guys?
I am curious what I want to see what I got of DFS on DK, because on FanDuel that was
it's number. Totally different.
I had a feeling it would be, because I wanted to see different. How much less though, because I gave him very similar projection, and so on DK for example, similar projections all the way down. I only get 2%, so very very different between FanDuel and DK.
What was Oladipo's ownership?
When you're building on FanDuel, it's like you kind of have to pick like one or two guys you absolutely don't like at all, just because how soft their pricing is and how many positions you have to fill.
And you can fit an extra stud on FanDuel.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
Hey,
without having to work.
Hey, subs, if you want to throw some of the higher dollar ownership in there, that would be great. You know, even if it's the big 20, but you know, the $100 tournaments, the higher ones. Because tonight I got $12.
I seen my man JSU. By the way, yesterday I brought up Oakland on the show, and my man JSU got in there and took Oakland in baseball and almost got to the winner's circle with my A's yesterday. I saw it. I saw his A's.
Oh God, baseball. So tilting sometimes. Baseball's. Tony gave the great call on the A's. I had that cheap catcher who just went. I think he had 17. He was like 2,100 or something like that. And then the Soto call from the show. Our boys JT Hayes, DC. They gave him out as the play of the game. They said he's going to go up against the chalk pitcher and he's going to be low owned and they're
bomb right away.
Favorite play and just bomb right off the bat. And they like the Nationals too. The difference in me shipping was Goldie and Josh Bell. If that was the
fine
difference.
Line between baseball. Sometimes
it was 1% Josh Bell or 25% Goldie. And
that's where you made the right call. It just didn't work.
It just didn't work out. Yeah. It just happens sometimes. But right. Thank you, Tony, for Oakland. That got some money. So
I was rooting for you, just so you know. I was rooting for your squad.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I was just like usual, Holden. I was about 20 spots below him, but we had some similar guys. So I was rooting for his team to move up. So he could win, and I'd get like 9th. That's always my goal.
Listen, that's what the best tournament player in the world does.
This time again?
Oh, he was ahead of me the whole time this time.
I would presume I was winning a lot of money for a long time. I didn't look, but like I had to be up there.
You were like in like 12th when I started looking, but you still had guys that you still had a chance for sure when I started looking.
Let me get you some ownership here. In the $20 on DK. Danny, thank you, Big Cat, for this. 37% Danny Green, Jimmy's
Gabe
31.
Vincent's 32%.
I'm still stunned that Depot
he's 40
got to
in
19.
the 5-5.
Oh, Tony.
Gabe Vincent is 40% owned.
Correct.
Yes.
I have 0% Gabe Vincent.
Oh my
God. Is that bad?
This is why the NBA playoffs are just the best edge ever. Gabe Vincent on the road is 40% freaking owned. I wish the NBA playoffs never ended.
Oh man.
Embiid's 22, Bam is 17, Hero 17, Shake is 5.8. I got him at 6.1.
Tony, isn't that interesting to you? Like, how did Oladipo get higher owned than Tyler Hero? I know it's like close, but 19 to 17, like
I actually liked Oladipo more, nuts. So I don't know.
No, but I would have thought the masses would have for sure.
I think it's just that Hero struggled the last couple games. I don't know.
Yeah,
I agree though. I mean,
that's very surprising, actually. Yeah,
I thought that was very. I mean, he was 20% owned, and he was 4,300 2 slates ago. Literally, we're talking 2 or 3 slates ago when he dropped 31, and 4,300. No one wanted to play. He was 23% owned.
That one game overreaction, like I think it's
every time
can't be understated.
You got to take advantage. And everybody sees Gabe Vincent's game log, not realizing how lucky he got. I mean, if you 40% Gabe Vincent in the 5, that is just astronomical edge. And I'll tell you right now,
those same people were tilting their face off at halftime when he had
1.5. He had 1.5 at half.
Yeah, whatever he had.
Our chats have progressively gotten even worse too. Like the tilting in our Discord is worse than ever. Like it's
impossible.
Just absolutely just awful.
Impossible.
They tilt every play, every golfer, it's literally, and they do it on purpose to try to reverse jinx it, but it really, I can't even go in there. Like I hate it. It brings me down. I'm like Glock. I believe in good mojo. I believe in good energy. I believe in that stuff. And it brings me down and I start getting pissed. And then I want to root against my own guys just because of what they're doing.
Like exactly.
It's like, you don't want them to get there so that they get rewarded. You don't want them to be rewarded for acting like that.
What, did every golfer get there today?
I mean, these tournaments are the worst. We talk about this every time, but when everybody just makes birdies and eagles, it's tough to watch. It's just, there's just too many guys crushing.
Damn,
except for Sammy Burns. Where you at, Sammy Burns?
Did he struggle?
I think he's like +1 to finish.
If he's +1, then he's in big trouble.
Yeah, he's +1 to finish.
There's a lot going on here. Bryce Harper's out for at least a month. Jerry Jeudy was upset about baby formula. I mean, all sorts of shit's going down here now. Crazy things tonight, boys. And good thing we got some NBA playoffs. I know some of you will be watching some hockey, some baseball as well. But I'm looking forward to this the second game tonight. The first game doesn't excite me as much.
I think all of us are kind of in that same thing. Part of me wants like the series to end, and then part of me wants a weekend game 7 too. So I wouldn't mind seeing some game 7s this weekend.
Yeah, we could have 3 on Sunday if the series go to 7.
We didn't talk about it, but I know I've been preaching the Golden State sucks trombone, but man, Memphis laid the wood to them. They went in there and just whooped them.
55-point lead.
Like, did they just say like we'll be back in Golden State soon and we'll just take care?
They definitely didn't start that way, but it snowballed in a hurry. They were awful in the game before it though at home. People aren't going to agree with this, and I'm fine. They might be in trouble here still. Memphis is gritty, man. And Memphis, we said this before the series too, so don't think we're being results. Memphis, I hated Memphis versus Minnesota because the matchups. This round, I thought they matched up good with Golden State. And just because Ja's out, they still match up pretty good with them. And the Steven Adams, he changed the series a little bit. I'm sure Golden State will adjust. I'm sure Golden State will grind out a W. But I guarantee if you're a Golden State fan, you're not as confident as you were a week ago. I'll tell you.
Where's that guy who wants to bet you 10K or 100K or whatever he said? Where is he? I want to see if he's still that confident. He might be. I don't know. He was pretty confident yesterday.
I guarantee you that there were very few places like RPS that said fade Golden State altogether.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I'd say. I mean, if you had a blowout script, that's fine, but it was a pretty good idea to just fade the whole damn thing. Yep. Whoop that trick too. I'm over whoop that trick, you know?
Yeah.
I'm over it.
I was laughing at Draymond.
Draymond dancing to it. Oh my gosh.
Because they went right in Curry's face and he's like, whoop that trick. Because Curry talked about it. I'm over it.
Where did it start from?
I do like that from Draymond, how he just goes with it. I respect that.
Yeah, he's great.
Some players wouldn't. Some players would just be telling everyone to fuck off or like.
Draymond's the best.
Did you see what he said after the game? He said he hates front runners.
Oh yeah. He called out their fans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I agree with him. I hate front runners too.
I was gonna say that's like Golden State fans, pretty much. Like not the ones that like.
Are those fans real though? Come on, you're not a real Golden State fan. I feel like those fans are the fakest. Like they just became fans when they got Steph Curry. They weren't there in the Baron Davis days, before that.
God, I love Baron Davis.
Oh, he was the GOAT.
Baron Davis.
I love that team so much.
Started wearing the headband. The headband.
Jason Richardson.
That was who I started wearing it because of Mr. Baron.
All righty. Someone asked for my baseball core first time all year. Whoever asked for it, I'll give it in the Discord. JSU's story of shipping got me one person to ask for it in my DM. You guys get a baseball core, whoever asked that.
Listen, I'm just telling you guys, we almost got to the real winner circle last night, so get back.
They're coming back to you now? I thought sent.
Why not? Round 2.
I thought, I never send DMs in the chat. I thought I sent Tony one last night. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was 2 nights ago.
You sent me one?
Yeah, I thought I did. I mean, maybe I didn't.
Think so.
I thought I did though.
Where? What did it
I
say?
definitely texted you guys the GIF of.
You text me for sure. I remember that. Yeah, I like that. I don't think
JSU.
you DM'd me though.
No, I probably didn't. Probably thought I did, and I didn't.
The gifts in the Discord are ridiculous.
Yeah, I just
they're worth the subscription.
The last time, JSU, he just said he sent me a DM. The last one was freaking September. The last message you sent me.
Oh, God.
You're right. It was September 15th, and you said laughing my fucking ass off dying.
All right. On that note, let's watch some basketball. Simon, come on, wrap us up here, buddy.